Welcome to our in-depth analysis of the latest dramatic developments in The Bold and the Beautiful. Today, we'll explore the complex web of emotions and schemes that have unfolded in recent episodes, particularly focusing on Taylor's desperate plan to secure her relationship with Ridge. Taylor Hayes finds herself in a precarious position in her relationship with Ridge Forrester. Despite their current commitment to each other, Taylor is consumed by anxiety that Brooke Logan will eventually win Ridge back. This fear isn't unfounded, given the long and complicated history between Ridge and Brooke, who have cycled through numerous reunions over the years. What makes Taylor particularly nervous is Brooke's unwavering conviction that Ridge is her soulmate. In a recent confrontation, Brooke made it abundantly clear that Ridge is the only man in her life, demonstrating her determination to eventually reclaim him. This persistent threat to her relationship has pushed Taylor to consider drastic measures. Taylor's insecurity has led her to devise a plan that she hopes will permanently remove Brooke as a threat to her happiness with Ridge. Her strategy is simple yet potentially effective: find someone else for Brooke to love. If Brooke falls for another man, perhaps she'll finally release her emotional hold on Ridge. The challenge, however, is finding a suitable candidate. Many of Brooke's former lovers are already in relationships, limiting Taylor's options. After careful consideration, Taylor has set her sights on Nick Marone, a man with whom Brooke once shared a passionate relationship. Nick Marone isn't just any ex-boyfriend, he's Ridge's half-brother through their biological father, Massimo Marone. This family connection adds another layer of complexity to Taylor's scheme, as she's essentially trying to redirect Brooke's affections from one Marone son to another. Taylor's plan involves luring Nick back to Los Angeles under false pretenses. She intends to fabricate a project or opportunity that would require his presence, hoping that once he returns, the old spark between him and Brooke might reignite. Given their history, Taylor believes this could be the perfect solution to her problem. Nick Marone's return to Los Angeles is scheduled for June 13th, and it promises to shake up the current dynamics among the characters. As the son of shipping magnate Massimo Marone, Nick has always been a formidable presence. Unlike his half-brother Ridge, who was raised as a Forrester and immersed in the fashion industry, Nick took the Marone surname and followed a different path, working as a captain at Marone Industries. What makes Nick particularly interesting in this scenario is his shared history with both Taylor and Brooke. He has been romantically involved with both women in the past, creating a complex emotional landscape for his return. While Taylor once had feelings for Nick, she's now firmly focused on Ridge and sees Nick merely as a pawn in her scheme to secure her relationship. Taylor's plan hinges on Brooke's reaction to Nick's return. There are signs that her strategy might actually work, at least initially. Spoilers suggest that Brooke will indeed turn to Nick for comfort as she tries to move on from Ridge. The familiar connection between them could provide Brooke with the emotional support she needs during this difficult time. As Brooke and Nick reconnect, their relationship appears to progress rapidly. There are indications that they will restart their romance and begin planning to live happily ever after. This quick development might seem to validate Taylor's scheme, suggesting that Brooke could finally direct her affections away from Ridge. However, relationships on The Bold and the Beautiful are rarely straightforward, and this budding reunion between Brooke and Nick is likely to face significant challenges. The most immediate threat comes from an unexpected source: Ridge himself. Taylor's plan contains a critical miscalculation. She fails to anticipate Ridge's reaction to seeing Brooke with another man, particularly his own half-brother. While Ridge has committed himself to Taylor, his feelings for Brooke remain unresolved. His choice of Taylor might not be based on genuine preference, but rather on a reluctance to hurt Taylor again after everything she's been through. When Ridge witnesses Brooke and Nick growing closer, his possessive instincts flare up dramatically. Despite his commitment to Taylor, Ridge finds it unbearable to watch Brooke moving on with someone else. This jealousy reveals the fragility of Ridge's dedication to Taylor and suggests that his feelings for Brooke remain powerful. Ridge's reaction exemplifies a pattern in his behavior. It's one thing for Ridge to choose Taylor while Brooke is single. It's quite another for Ridge to stay loyal to Taylor while Brooke's falling for someone else. This insight into Ridge's psychology exposes the conditional nature of his commitment to Taylor. It depends largely on Brooke remaining available as a potential backup option. Nick's return doesn't just complicate the romantic relationships. It also reignites the long-standing rivalry between the half-brothers. Ridge and Nick have competed for Brooke's affections before, and history appears poised to repeat itself. This sibling rivalry adds another dimension to the unfolding drama. Ridge and Nick are connected by blood through their father, Massimo Marone, but their different upbringings and personalities have often put them at odds. Ridge was raised as a Forrester, inheriting the privilege and prestige of the fashion dynasty, while Nick followed a more independent path. As Nick and Brooke grow closer, Ridge and Nick are headed for confrontations. Spoilers suggest they will have Brooke-related showdowns as Ridge potentially begins making predictions about his own new chapter with her. These conflicts will further strain the already complicated family dynamics. As Taylor watches her plan backfire spectacularly, she's overwhelmed with regret. What was intended to secure her relationship with Ridge has instead put it in greater jeopardy than ever before. Despite her pleas and attempts to salvage their relationship, Ridge ultimately decides to end things with Taylor, driven by his renewed determination to win back Brooke. This outcome represents a painful irony for Taylor. Her insecurity about losing Ridge to Brooke became a self-fulfilling prophecy. By trying to eliminate the threat, she inadvertently magnified it. The man she brought back to distract Brooke instead served as the catalyst for Ridge's realization of his true feelings. Taylor's regret is compounded by the knowledge that she orchestrated this situation herself. Had she been more secure in her relationship with Ridge or addressed her concerns directly with him, perhaps the outcome would have been different. Instead, her scheme has cost her the very relationship she was desperate to protect. With Ridge newly single and determined to reclaim Brooke and Nick building a promising new relationship with her, the stage is set for an intense competition. Both half-brothers will employ different strategies to win Brooke's affections. Nick has the advantage of being Brooke's current focus. Their reconnection has been providing her with comfort and the possibility of moving forward after the pain of losing Ridge. Nick represents a fresh start and the potential for a relationship uncomplicated by the decades of on-again, off-again history that defines Brooke and Ridge's dynamic. Ridge, however, has the power of their long-shared history and the conviction that they are destined to be together. His sudden availability and renewed interest will undoubtedly affect Brooke, who has maintained that he is her soulmate. The question becomes whether her developing feelings for Nick are strong enough to withstand the pull of her enduring love for Ridge. To fully appreciate the current drama, it's helpful to understand the historical context of these relationships. The Bold and the Beautiful has long centered on the saga of the wealthy Forrester family and the less affluent Logan family, set against the backdrop of the Los Angeles fashion world. The Forresters, led by Eric and Stephanie, established Forrester Creations as the premier fashion house in Los Angeles. The Logans, including Brooke and her sisters, have been intertwined with the Forresters through numerous marriages, affairs, and business dealings over the years. Ridge, as the eldest Forrester son, though later revealed to be Massimo's biological son, has been at the center of many storylines, particularly through his complicated romantic history with Brooke Logan. Their relationship has been characterized by passionate reunions and devastating breakups, often involving other partners. Taylor Hayes entered this dynamic as a psychiatrist who became one of Ridge's significant relationships, creating a love triangle that has persisted in various forms for decades. The current situation with Nick represents just the latest iteration of this ongoing emotional struggle. The current storyline reveals interesting psychological aspects of each character involved. Taylor's actions demonstrate her deep-seated insecurity and fear of abandonment. Despite her professional background as a psychiatrist, she resorts to manipulation rather than addressing her relationship concerns directly. 5. This behavior may stem from her history with Ridge, who has repeatedly left her for Brooke in the past. Brooke displays remarkable persistence in her belief that Ridge is her destiny, yet shows an ability to form meaningful connections with others when she allows herself to move on. Her quick emotional transition to Nick suggests either adaptability or perhaps a pattern of seeking comfort in relationships rather than facing her pain alone. Ridge exhibits classic signs of wanting what he can't have. His commitment to Taylor wavers not because of any change in his feelings for her, but because the possibility of losing Brooke permanently becomes real. This suggests his relationships are more about possession than genuine emotional connection. Nick, returning to this complicated situation, may find himself once again caught between his own desires and the shadow of his half-brother. His willingness to reconnect with Brooke despite their history and the inevitable complications shows either courage or a failure to learn from past experiences. As this drama unfolds, several potential outcomes emerge. Brooke might choose Nick, embracing a new beginning with someone who values her without the baggage of her history with Ridge. This would represent significant character growth and potentially break the cycle that has defined much of her storyline. Alternatively, Ridge's jealousy and pursuit might succeed in winning Brooke back, continuing the pattern that has characterized their relationship for years. This would leave both Taylor and Nick heartbroken and potentially bitter. A third possibility is that Brooke might reject both men, choosing instead to focus on herself and break free from the pattern of defining herself through relationships. While this would be a dramatic departure from her established character, it would offer a fresh direction for her storyline. Taylor, having lost Ridge due to her own machinations, faces the challenge of rebuilding her life and perhaps examining the insecurities that led to her self-destructive behavior. Her professional background as a psychiatrist creates an interesting irony as she now needs to apply her understanding of human behavior to her own healing process. 5. The drama between these characters continues to captivate viewers because it explores universal themes of love, jealousy, insecurity, and the consequences of manipulation. The complex history shared by these characters adds depth to their current conflicts, making each interaction layered with meaning and unresolved emotions. As the story continues to unfold, viewers will witness whether love, jealousy, or personal growth will ultimately determine the fates of these interconnected lives. The tensions between desire and commitment, between past and future, create compelling drama that keeps audiences invested in these characters' journeys. Thank you for joining us for this analysis of the current storyline on The Bold and the Beautiful. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the characters' motivations and relationships. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates and analyses of your favorite soap operas. Until next time.